We are live. Hey, how is it going? Lee Hayward here with the Total Fitness Bodybuilding video chat for Friday, September the 25th. And today, as always, I'm going to be hanging out here for the next half hour, an hour, depending on how things go, depending on how chatty I'm feeling today, and answer some questions about fitness, nutrition, building muscle, losing fat, and basically anything that you want to discuss when it comes to achieving your fitness and fat loss goals and muscle building goals. Feel free to type those questions, comments, topics of discussion into our chat window, and I'll do the best I can to help you out over the course of our conversation today. And I have a few things that I want to address now that I've been having some conversations with people, some strategy session calls with people over the past week. And there was a common theme that I've seen with some of the people that I've been talking to. And it goes like this, right? They're exercising on a regular basis. Now, granted, it could be better, but they're still exercising consistently. They're eating a healthy diet. You know, maybe could be better, but they're still eating a healthy diet. And they're really stuck in a rut. Like, okay, I'm exercising, I'm eating right. How come I'm not losing any weight? How come I'm not getting leaner? How come I'm not seeing results even though I'm doing all the right things? And a lot of people are stuck in this rut, if you will, right? Where they get into the situation and I'm doing everything right. I'm going to the gym, maybe 3-4 days a week, sometimes even more. Right? I'm eating healthy foods. Like I'm eating protein. I'm eating lots of fruits and vegetables. I'm eating all the good stuff. How come I'm not losing weight? How come I'm not getting leaner? Where are the abs, right? That's what a lot of people, they struggle with it. How come I'm not getting the results that I see? And, a lot of people, when I'm following the social media influencers and whatever, and a lot of people then blame it on, oh, maybe it's you got bad genetics, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. And then they think, well, maybe I need to take supplements. And, a lot of times it's really comes down to a calorie equation. It's like, pretend we were running a business, right? I mean, you could have a phenomenal business, right? You could have a great product. You could have great customers. You could have a great system. You could have great advertising. You could have a phenomenal business and all the pieces are in place and everything is working. But if your income does not exceed your expenses, meaning you're not making more money than you spend, you're not going to have a profitable business, regardless of how good it is, right? Regardless of how good the product is, regardless of how much people love you, regardless of if you're doing everything right. If you are spending more money than you're earning, it's not going to be a profitable business. The same principle applies with your fat loss program. Like you could have a great workout. You could have a great eating plan. You could be eating clean. You could be doing all the right things. But at the end of the day, if you're not achieving a calorie deficit, then you could be stuck in a rut and not losing any body fat. And I've seen a lot of people just stay stuck in a plateau for weeks, months, sometimes even years, because they're ignoring this simple equation. And it also applies vice versa for those of you who are trying to gain muscular body weight. If people saying I can't make any gains, the same thing can apply. You could be working out consistently. You could be eating good. You could be doing all the right things. But if you're not in a slight calorie surplus, you're not going to make gains. So this is something that you really have to pay attention to. And there's all kinds of these calorie calculator formulas online. Like these days you can go on like Google search and bodybuilding.com or whatever, like all these different sites, and they give you these calorie calculator formulas where you enter in your height, your age, your weight, and whatever, and it spits out, you burn 2,532 calories per day based on your body weight or whatever it is, or based on your numbers. I mean, I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I mean, it's a starting point, right? I mean, if you want to use it as a starting point, you can use it as that. But it's a very generic equation, a very generic number that it's spitting out. Because when it comes to your metabolic rate and how many calories you burn, we're not combustion engines. Like, we don't burn X amount of fuel based on the size of the engine. We have individual metabolisms. Just because you weigh 200 pounds doesn't mean that everybody who weighs 200 pounds burns the same calories, right? Your metabolic hormones, your stress levels, your NEAT, your non-exercise thermogenic activity, all this kind of stuff comes into play. So you can't go by cookie cutter approaches or cookie cutter calculators to get your calorie intake. Ultimately, if you want to know how many calories you burn, you just record your food in a food journal and track it. And this is how you're going to know. Like, let's just say you're stuck at a plateau. Well, write down what you eat for the run of the week, weigh it, measure it, calculate it, all that kind of stuff, and add it up. And the number, like, you average it out over the course of the week, because some days you might eat a little more, some days you might eat a little less, right? Whatever it is. But if you average it out over the course of the week, that will give you your average caloric intake. That will give you your true basal metabolic rate, or your true daily energy expenditure, whatever you want to use it as. That will be, because it's numbers that you're really consuming. And the way it is with calories, like, it's not always mathematically correct, because there's so many hormones involved. Like, when you eat more food, you actually speed up your metabolism. When you eat less food, you can actually slow down your metabolism a bit. So it's not always, a simple equation like a lot of these calorie calculator formulas give you. Right? You need to factor in a lot more stuff. But bottom line, this is a big problem that I see for a lot of people is they're not following the true calories in, calories out when it comes to fat loss. And this is why a lot of people struggle. Another reason why a lot of people struggle with this is you may be on the right track. You may actually be in a calorie deficit. You may be exercising right and doing your cardio and, like, again, doing everything right. Let's say you're doing everything right from Monday to Friday. But then on Saturday, you say, well, hey, I'm going to reward myself for a week of good effort, and I'm going to have a cheat day. And then you just cut loose, right? Saturday, you're not going to work out, and you're going to cheat. And I mean, it could be whatever. Maybe you go out for brunch. Maybe you, hit up the drive-through, burger and fries. Maybe you order pizza. Maybe you get yourself a case of beer and a bag of potato chips, and you sit down and watch Netflix. I don't know, but you have your cheat, right, on Saturday. And a lot of people do this, right? I used to do this. And the way that I used to do my cheats back in the day, I'll be honest, I used to have Saturday as my cheat day. And I kid you not, this is what I used to do. I used to stay up until 12:01 on Friday, technically 12:01 Saturday morning, because it was 12:01 a.m. And as soon as 12:01 rolled over on the clock, then I said, okay, technically it's Saturday, technically it's cheat day, so I can start eating. And I would have the biggest kind of binge at midnight on Friday/Saturday morning, and that's when the cheat would start. And I would binge, probably watch a movie or something like that, eating potato chips. And if I wanted to order a pizza, I'd have the pizza ordered in advance, before the pizza place closed. I would binge Friday night and then go to bed with a big old belly bloated full of cheat food. And then the next morning, wake up and I'd probably binge again. Might be like bacon and eggs and pancakes, or I might go out for brunch or something like that. Eating whatever I want, ice cream, cookies, fast food, takeaway, you name it. And I would do that right on up until midnight Saturday. So I'd have a full, legit 24-hour cheat. And because the program that I was following at the time allowed for one cheat day a week. And I said, by gosh darn it, I'm going to have my cheat day. And I'm going to make sure that I make the most of my cheat day. And you know what? That cheat day, I ate so much food that I literally canceled out my calorie deficit from the rest of the week. So, like, let's just say you need. I'll just spit out some numbers to give you some examples. Like, let's say you're burning an average of 2,500 calories a day, and then you diet and you do your cardio and everything else, and you create a 500 calorie a day deficit. So, if you did that over the course of the week, 500 calorie a day deficit, ideally you would be 3,500 calories over the course of the week. You should lose 1 pound per week. But if you did that, say 6 days a week, but then on your cheat day, you went ahead and you binge. You had a good 5,000-6,000 calorie binge, right? Which I would literally do. I mean, that probably even more than 6,000 calories sometimes, because all that high calorie fatty foods, it adds up, right? I mean, like, you can eat like potato chips and cookies and ice cream and pizza, and man, the calories just boop, 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 stack up, and it doesn't satiate your appetite. In fact, the way that food is designed, junk food in general, the more you eat it, the hungrier you get. Like, you just want to eat more and more of it. So I would literally have this big, massive cheat meal. So that 500 calorie a day deficit that I had all week long, I just was a fart in the wind, gone on that cheat day. And then I was stuck at square one. So my average calories over the course of the week, which is the long term, what you need to look at, the long-term average, I wasn't in a deficit. Even though I thought I was dieting 6 days of the week, I was blowing it on that cheat day, and that's why I would stay stuck in a rut. And I see a lot of people making the same mistakes. So when it comes to this, calories in, calories out over the long term, it all adds up. And the way that I like to encourage my coaching students now when I'm working with people is I'm not a fan of cheat days. I'm really not even a fan of cheat meals that often. I'm a fan of, if you are craving something, have it in moderation. So this is the way I do a cheat now. Like, I'll always start my meals with, this is my non-negotiable habits. Every single meal, I must sit down and I have protein and vegetables with every single meal. Protein and veggies, it could be chicken breasts, could be a salad, it could be, meat, chicken, fish, eggs, whatever for the protein. And as far as the vegetables, again, it could be a salad, it could be steamed or stir-fried vegetables. Sometimes it's just like raw veggies, like I might have carrot sticks and celery sticks and chopped up broccoli on a veggie tray and just snack on that. Sometimes it's vegetables that are cooked or steamed or whatever. If I can't sit down and actually have solid food protein and solid food vegetables, then I will supplement with protein powder and greens powder. So I will get supplemental protein and veggies. Well, if I can't eat the real stuff, then I'll get the supplements. But every meal, protein and veggies. That's my non-negotiable habit. Fill up on the good stuff first. Once I fill up on the good stuff, then if I'm craving something afterwards, I will give myself a little bit of flexibility to have that after I've already pre-filled my belly with the good stuff. So a prime example of this is a few weeks ago, my wife and I, we wanted to have a cheat and we wanted to have a pizza. Now, back in the day when I'd order a pizza, I'd always order the big, ginormous, jumbo, supersized pizza, the biggest one that the pizza place offered. And I'd eat that. And I would stuff myself with as many slices of pizza as I could. My wife would do the same. And then we'd have pizza left over for the next day. And I'd do the same thing again the next day, right? Eating leftover pizza. Now we order, what was it? Like a small or a medium. It was 4 slices. I don't know what technically that is. I think it's a small pizza, just 4 slices. So that's what we ordered, just this little pizza. And I started my meal with I had a large garden salad with a chopped up chicken breast. So that covered my protein was the chicken, the veggies was the salad. I had that first. That pre-filled my belly with protein and veggies. And then after, I had a couple slices of pizza. And by the time I ate that couple slices of pizza on top of a garden salad with a chicken breast, I was stuffed. Like I physically could not eat anymore after that. I was fully stuffed. And my belly is satisfied. My hunger is satisfied. I'm satiated. And I got the cravings of pizza out of my system with 2 slices. Whereas in the past, if I had started eating pizza when I was hungry right from the get-go, I'd probably eat 5, 6, 7 slices of pizza before I felt full and stuffed. Whereas now I only ate 2 slices and I felt stuffed. So I got to have my pizza and satiate that craving with a lot less damage. And that's the way I go about things now. So like if I'm craving something, I don't neglect it. I just have it in moderation after I've already pre-filled my belly with the protein and the vegetables. And I'm telling you, like this is a simple strategy, but it is a game changer. And it allows you to enjoy your diet, enjoy eating, get the eating satiation and the satisfaction and feel full, still satisfy those cravings without going overboard. Because one of the things I found when it comes to a lot of cheat food, like you're looking at potato chips or cookies or pizza or ice cream or things that you sometimes eat in excess. Once you've satisfied that initial craving, any more that you're eating beyond that, it's just more of the same. Like I don't get any more satisfaction or enjoyment from 6 slices of pizza versus 2 slices. Like after 2 slices, it's just more pizza. Like it's just more of the same. It's like French fries. I mean, I can enjoy a small French fries and get the same satisfaction as if I had this ginormous plate of French fries. Like another example, like if we ever go out for ice cream, and we've done that several times this summer, drive by an ice cream shop and go in. Instead of getting a large, man-size ice cream, I get the little kitty-size ice cream. Like I've got a 4-year-old son, and he gets the little kitty-size ice cream. And guess what? We all get kitty-size ice creams. My wife gets a kitty size. He gets a kitty size. I get a kitty size. And that's enough. Just that little tiny ice cream is enough for me to, okay, I've got a taste of ice cream. I've satisfied my ice cream craving without this ginormous, instead of having like 1,000 calories of ice cream, I can probably satisfy the cravings with like 300 calories of ice cream. Like you can get away with so much less than you realize if you do it properly, and you have these little tiny frequent releases, if you will, releases where you release the cravings. Because this is one of the drawbacks too when it comes to dieting, is a lot of people try and neglect their cravings. They say, you know, I'm going on this 12-week cut. I'm not going to eat any junk food. I'm no cheat meals, whatever. And what happens is the cravings start to build up, and they build up, and they build up. And you can stay, like you can put the blinders on and you can have willpower for so long, but eventually willpower is going to run out, right? Eventually, you know, the cravings are just going to build and build and build and build and build. And you're going to get to the point where you say, screw it, I can't stand the cravings anymore. And when that happens, you're just going to go on this biggest kind of dirty binge. And once you binge, then like, oh man, I just blew my diet. I feel like crap. And then what do you do when you feel like crap? You resort to comfort food, because comfort food makes you feel better. So then you binge some more. And then it's just this negative spiral. And then after that, you're like, screw it, I just blew it, and I bloated, I'm fat. Like, oh, screw this diet stuff. I'm not cut out for it. And that's the reality for most people. Whereas if you just do it smart, like allow yourself these little tiny indulges. Like if you're craving a cookie, have a cookie. Get that craving out of your system and then move on. Instead of saying, no, I'm not going to eat any cookies. And then, you know, the next day goes, no, I'm not going to eat any cookies. And then you keep obsessing over cookies. And then after several days, you say, screw it, and you eat a whole box of cookies. Whereas if you ate 1 or 2 cookies initially and kind of like nip that craving in the bud, then you can like have that craving done and forget about it and move on. Like that's the way I do things now. And that's how I'm able to enjoy my eating, stay lean, not have these cravings build up to these intolerable, unsatiable levels, and still make progress without feeling like I'm on a diet. And it's such a cool feeling. I mean, it's such a liberating feeling to be like that, because I used to go through the extreme all or nothing, you know, like it was either I was on this crazy hardcore cutting diet when I was getting ready for bodybuilding shows, or there was no diet at all. There was no in between. It was all or nothing. And that all or nothing is the biggest trap I see people make when it comes to fat loss. So I know that's a big, long rant, but I wanted to get that off my chest because I was talking to several people this week. We're having strategy session calls with them. And this was a common theme that I've seen over and over and over again. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was helpful, type into the chat window there. Type into the chat and let me know if this was helpful. And if you'd like me to do more videos like this. If you do, let me know in the chat window there. And in the meantime, I'm going to just jump to the top there and see who we got joining in today, and we'll take it from there. So let's see. We've got Dario's joining in. We've got Unicorn joining in. Jose. Dale's joining in. Hey, Dale did a sponsored the chat there with a super chat $5 tip. Thank you, Dale. Much appreciated. Sean's joining in. Ralph, Philly, Kane, Zach, David, Dario. Okay, good stuff. We got a lot of people tuning in. So I'm just going to start answering the questions one by one and knock out as many of those as I can while we still have time. Wet my whistle there. All right, Dario. Well, actually, seeing Dale sponsored, I'm going to answer Dale's question right away. I said, wishing you lots of love and your family, hoping you get through this hard time, and love to all your viewers. Hope you get through it. Appreciate it, Dale. I mean, if you have any questions, hey, feel free to type them in. I mean, I appreciate the support, and if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Dario saying he's 5'11", 215 pounds, 12% body fat, and has 6-pack abs. Have I reached my natural limit? I've been training since 2008. Okay, 12 years. I'm assuming consistently. I mean, it sounds like you've made some pretty good progress there. 5'11", 215, 12% body fat. This is the way it works. All right. I actually had somebody talk about this on the Dad Bod Transformation group. And if you can check out the t-shirt there, Dad Bod Transformation. I'm a resident coach over on the Dad Bod Transformation Facebook page, which is like the fastest growing Facebook page for middle-aged men who are looking to lose the gut, build muscle, and get back in shape. So if you're a middle-aged man who wants to lose the gut, build muscle, and get back in shape, then check out Dad Bod Transformation. It's got like 39,000 members almost, which is just insane. It's literally the fastest growing Facebook group for men. And I'm very honored to be one of their resident coaches over there helping out. But anyway, one of the guys over there had this same question, was asking about their genetic natural limits. And the way it works usually is when you start training is when you're going to make your best progress, assuming you're training consistently. Like if you're not 100% consistent with your workouts and your nutrition, then you're not maximizing your progress. But assuming you're consistent with the workouts, consistent with the eating, and you're doing everything right for the most part, you're going to make your best gains in your first year. After that, what's going to happen is you're probably going to make about half the gains that you made your first year in your second year. After that, you're probably going to make about half the gains you did in your second year and your third year. And each year thereon, you're going to probably gain about half as much as you did the previous year. Now, this isn't an exact science, right? Like some years you may make better gains than others, depending on how consistent you are with your workouts and how consistent you are with your nutrition and all sorts of other lifestyle factors. Like if you're going through very stressful times with work or family or whatever, that could have a negative impact on your gains. And then if you got other times where things are going great, you're not stressed, and you got more time to dedicate to your fitness and nutrition, you may make better gains. So don't take this as like a hard set rule, like every year you make 50% of the gains you did the previous year. But it's kind of like a general theme, a general guideline. Every year that you stick with this, you're going to make less gains than you did the previous year because you're getting closer to your body's natural limit. And even if you are enhanced, even if you're taking performance enhancing drugs, the same principles are going to apply there. Like even taking performance enhancing drugs, you're not going to just grow forever. If that was the case, I mean, there would be people walking around like 1,000 pounds and shredded. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like there's a reason why, like even at the top bodybuilding levels, like, like Mr. Olympia bodybuilding levels, guys are like that 250 pound shredded mark. Like that's kind of the limit. Now you'll see some guys, freaks who are pushing the 300 pound limit or whatever, but like that 250 to 300 pounds of shredded muscle is like the maximum that the human body can support, even with performance enhancing drugs, right? So with a natural limit, you're going to be lower than that, right? So I mean, in Dario's case, yeah, you're probably getting pretty close to your natural limit. I'm not saying that you can't improve, but you're not going to be making muscle gains by leaps and bounds from this point on. What's going to happen now is you're probably going to focus on improving the quality of your physique, maybe improving the symmetry and the proportions, maybe bringing out some more definition and detail and things like that, and correcting any muscle imbalances. But like you're not going to go from like 215 to like 250 or anything like that in the course of a year. Like you're not going to make those leaps and bounds gains at this stage of the game like you could in your first year. And another thing too is the older you get, the less likely you're going to grow, because one thing for those of you who are young, like teenagers, or like if you work out in your teenage years, you can really make some amazing gains because your body is naturally primed for growth as a teenager. Like every single person in the world, regardless if you work out or not, from the ages of 13 to 19, your teenage years, you're going to get bigger and stronger. Like even if you never lift a weight, even if you never have a protein shake, even if you never do anything at all to improve your health, fitness, or whatever, you will physically get bigger and stronger, assuming you don't get sick or have some sort of genetic disorder. But 99.9% of the population gets bigger and stronger from the ages of 13 to 19 because they're going through puberty and their body's maturing and there's this flood of natural hormones, and they grow bigger and stronger from those ages, regardless if they work out or not. Now, if you compound that with workouts, with proper nutrition, then it's just, you can make some crazy gains. And I was lucky enough to go through that. Like I worked out from the time I was 12 years old, and all through my teenage years, I made some crazy gains. Like some of it, like when I was going through high school and through college and stuff like that, everybody was accusing me of taking steroids or saying, oh, Lee's taking stuff. Look, he's growing. No, I was just capitalizing on the natural gains from being a teenager going through puberty. I mean, testosterone through the roof, growth hormone through the roof. I mean, plus training and good nutrition. I mean, it's just like it's the perfect storm, if you will, the perfect muscle building storm. So if anybody is going through that stage now, like your teenage years, capitalize on those years, right? You will not make gains faster than you will as a teenager who's consistent with training and nutrition. Anyway, back to Dario's question. Yeah, you're probably getting close to your genetic limit. That's a long-winded answer to a very, I could have said yes or no, but I like to elaborate on my questions, all right? Because there's value in the elaboration, if that makes sense. Unicorn Blood V2. Gotta love the username. He says, okay, his name is Ron. He actually introduces himself properly. He says, hello, coach. Ron here from the Philippines. Since April till now, I didn't visit the gym. What should I do? I think I can't do one push. What should I do? How to get back on track? Still not norma. Okay. You haven't been to the gym since April. You said you can't do one push-up, I think is what you mean to say. And things are not back to normal. You can do workouts at home, right? Body weight workouts, resistance band workouts, dumbbell workouts, like whatever you have at home, you can make do. And I've had several of my personal coaching students actually make some of their best gains while the gyms were closed down because they've been working out at home. So you just start with the basics, like push-ups, squats, jumping jacks. If you have rubber resistance bands, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Even down here, these things, rubber resistance bands. If you can get some of these rubber resistance tubings, this is like the cheapest home gym you will ever get because you can pick these up dirt cheap. You might be able to get them in sporting goods stores. If not, you can go on like Amazon or any of these online seller stores, Wish or AliExpress or whatever. Like, go to some store and buy up some rubber resistance bands. It's the cheapest home gym you'll ever get. And the cool thing is, like, you can duplicate so many machine and cable exercises and even free weight exercises using those rubber bands. Is it as good as going to the gym? No, absolutely not. Is it a good alternative? Absolutely yes. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on what you can do and start with that, right? Like, just start with something. Anything is better than nothing. And check out my YouTube channel. Like, go back over some of my videos. Like, I've put up a whole get in shape during quarantine home workout videos. I post them up on YouTube. Even over on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page, I did a whole follow along series where every day I was doing a live follow along workout using body weight and resistance bands. So, I mean, there's lots of options out there. And I mean, I'm not the only one. There's been hundreds and thousands of fitness YouTubers and influencers do home workouts. So, like, you're not stuck. You just need to get off your ass and take some action. And the thing is, just don't overthink it. Just start now and start small. Like, even if you're just doing a 10-minute workout, like 10 minutes is better than no minutes, and build it up from there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough, but good enough consistently. So get started now with some basic stuff. All right. Jose is joining in. How's it going? Dario saying, what's your take on instant versus regular oatmeal? As long as it doesn't have the added sugar or flavors or crap, it's good to go. Like, I just buy the regular Quaker Quick Oats is the ones that I buy. I buy the big jumbo, like 5-pound bag of Quaker Quick Oats from Costco. That's what I get. But as far as the nutritional value, oatmeal is oatmeal. Like, when you cook up you have a bowl of oatmeal that's cooked on a per volume or per cup basis. It doesn't matter if it's steel cut oats, if it's rolled oats, the large flake, if it's rolled oats, the small flake. Like, oats are oats. It doesn't matter. It's just the same thing, different levels of processing. So, I mean, I know some people say, oh, I love the steel cut oats. Other people say I love the quick oats. Other people say I like the large flake oats. Or, like, oats are oats. Eat whatever kind you like. I just get the big jumbo bags of quick oats because it's what I like. It's quick, it's convenient, it's the best value for the dollar. So that's what I get. But the nutritional value is the same. The only time the nutritional value of oatmeal is going to change is if it has the flavorings or the sugar. Like, you buy the ones that's like the brown sugar ones, or the apple cinnamon ones that have like sugar and spices added into it. Now, like, there's nothing wrong with adding a bit of flavor to your oatmeal, but I would prefer you do it yourself. Like, if you want to have, let's just say you want a nice sweet cinnamony oatmeal, buy the regular plain oatmeal, add in your own cinnamon, add in your own sweetener like stevia or something like that, and then you have a healthier version than the ones that are prepackaged from the stores that have, regular sugar and whatever crap put into it. Get the, you can make your own flavored oatmeal is what I'm just getting at. And it's a healthier option. And it's cheaper too. Jose is saying, does coffee, tea, or protein drinks count towards your total water intake? It depends. I mean, it's still fluid. It's still hydrating your body to a degree, but you still want to get some good old-fashioned water in there. I'm not super strict when it comes to measuring water. Like, I see some people say, oh, you got to drink, X number of ounces of water per day, or you got to drink an ounce per body weight per day, or per, like, drink according to your thirst, and drink according to the color of your pee. Like, if you are, when you go to the bathroom and you do your pee, if your pee is dark yellow, you're probably dehydrated and you need to drink more water. If your pee is like light yellow or clear, you're probably drinking enough. Like, as simple as that is, it's a pretty darn good indicator of your level of hydration. And that's what I use as my benchmark. And then I also drink according to thirst. I'm feeling thirsty now, so I'm going to have a drink. But just do that. Drink according to your thirst. If you're feeling extra thirsty, drink more. If you're extra active, drink more. If you're sweating more, drink more. If you're not as active, you're not sweating as much, you're not as thirsty, you don't have to drink as much. Like, don't force water into your system. That's one thing I see a lot of people do. They say, oh, you have to drink, X number of water. You got to drink a gallon a day. Well, if you're not sweating and using it, then no, you don't need a gallon a day. Right? I mean, I think that the general health guidelines say 8 glasses of water a day, and I would recommend that for most people because that's kind of like bare minimum. 8 glasses of water is not really that much water over the course of the day. Now, can you factor in some coffee and tea and protein shakes towards that? Well, yes, you can, but this is what I would look at. Go back to that guideline that I mentioned earlier, the color of your pee. If your pee is clear or a very light yellow, you're good to go. You're hydrated. If it's dark yellow, drink more water. Simple as that. I mean, I enjoy coffee and tea and protein shakes and all that, but I still drink lots of water as well. Sean's asking, is a 300-pound bench press impressive for a guy that weighs 180? Yes, most people, regardless of how much they weigh, can't bench press 300 pounds. So yes, according to the average person, it's impressive. If you're looking at a world's strongest man competitor, no, it's not. It's all relative. But if you can bench press 300 pounds, you're definitely above average. Ralph is saying, I hit the like button. Or no, hit the like button, peeps. I appreciate that, Ralph. Yeah, if you enjoy these video chats, give us a thumbs up, right? Every thumbs up helps. Another question there from Sean says, I know you don't lift heavy anymore, but just for fun, what do you think you could hit on the bench, deadlift, and squat? I really don't know, and I'm not going to try, honestly. Not going to try. There. Just the most I've ever did, and this was back when I was healthy, pre-injuries and all that kind of stuff, the most I've ever benched, I hit a 445-pound bench press in training. I did 407 in competition, deadlift 530 and squat 525. Those are the most I've ever lifted. That was max top peak strength, fat powerlifter shape, if you will. Since I've had some injuries over the years, I haven't been hitting those numbers. And, like right now for me, like a heavy bench press is 225. A heavy deadlift or heavy squat would be 315. Like that would be heavy for me at this stage of the game. Philly Josh, what's up, Lee? Hope all is good. Just a quick question. What's a good age to start your son in weight training? When he wants to start, basically. Like I started training when I was 12, but if you have a child who wants to start earlier than that, I wouldn't hesitate. Like as long as they're doing it under supervision, it's fine. Like look at all the other sports that we put children in. Like we put children in gymnastics from toddler age. We put children in karate and soccer and t-ball and whatever. Like we get children doing sports and activities from a very young age. Weight training is no different, right? Like I see parents taking their kids to the pool and teaching them how to swim when they're not even a year old, right? I've seen kids joining gymnastics at 2 years old. Like granted, now they're not doing super advanced stuff at that age, but they're starting the process. I mean, you can start a child pretty young. Like in my son's case, I mean, he doesn't have the attention span to even work out now. Like, I mean, he'll come down in the gym and he'll see me working out and he might like pick up the handle, the bar attachment, like, you know, the handle you use for like tricep push downs and stuff like that. He'll pick up that and like he'll curl that 2 or 3 times and he say, okay, workout done, and then he'll leave. But he sees me working out, like especially when I'm doing home gym workouts and that, and I'm planting the seeds. So when he's ready to work out and he actually has the attention span and the desire to like stick around for a workout, then I'm going to let him work out. Like, of course, I'm going to guide him and teach him and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we're not going to be doing 1 rep max stupid shit like that, but we're going to be, you know, teaching him how to actually work the muscles and do exercises with proper form and all that kind of stuff. It's like gymnastics, right? Like, I mean, if you take a child and start teaching them gymnastics, I mean, you're not going to have them doing, you know, swinging off the high bars or whatever at 2 years old. No, you're going to start teaching them young, like teach them to do some simple tumbles and rolls and simple stuff, right? Start with the basics and build from there. So, I mean, you can do that with children as soon as they're ready to go. Like, you know, again, it depends on the child. When they're ready to go, they have the attention span, start doing it. You can probably hear my son out in the other room there now. What else we got there? I lost my spot then. Kane is saying, I can't do cheat meals. It triggers addiction. Then I binge. Best to swear off the junk totally. I already addressed that in the early part of this whole chat, so I'm not going to address it anymore. Zach is saying, what do you think about cheat meals during a bulk? I already kind of covered that at the start. The same principles apply during a bulk. And this is my theory about bulking. Bulking is overrated. Bulking, for the most part, is an excuse to get fat. Unless you are like the minority, that like the true 98-pound weakling who can't gain a pound to save your life. You know, the stereotypical guy that Charles Atlas was advertising to in the back of the comic books back in the day. Like, unless you are that guy who is like literally 98 pounds, soaking wet, you can count your ribs, like that's skinny. Bulking is overrated. Because for most people, when you bulk, you end up gaining way more fat than you do muscle. Like, you're better to focus on lean gains, right? Right from the start. Like, do not bulk, because okay, you put on 30 pounds of body fat, and then when you finally decide you want to cut, then you got to diet all that fat off, and you're probably going to lose whatever muscle you gained along with the fat. Like, literally, it's an ass backwards approach. Slow, steady gains over the long term is the better way to go. It's healthier too. You'll feel better and you'll look better. David saying, how's it going, young man? Looking good, sir. Enjoyed the workout vids with your dad. Excellent stuff. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. And glad you enjoyed those videos. I got a lot of positive feedback with those videos, and I'm planning on doing some more of them, right? I'll be totally honest. Like, those videos were shot before COVID, right? Those father and son workout videos. If you haven't seen them already, head on over to my main YouTube channel. I put up a playlist there, father and son workout, get back in shape. Those videos were shot before COVID. Once COVID hit and the gym shut down, we stopped going to the gym, obviously. My father has not been back to the gym since. I'm trying to get him back to the gym. So, like, I'm actually sharing those videos with him now. I'm like, Dad, like, remember you were working out. Like, we should be doing this shit again. So he has not been to the gym since those videos were shot back before COVID, right? So, I mean, he's like a lot of people, right? He's put on the quarantine 15, if you will, right? He's fattened up from lack of exercise and too much eating over the whole COVID shutdown thing. So I'm encouraging him to get back to the gym again, but it could be a real get back in shape series starting very soon. But I like to say, I got to motivate him, right? And this is something, seeing we're on the topic of it, it's like, you can't force somebody to get in shape. I have a lot of my coaching students, like, they start a program and they start seeing the progress themselves, and they're like, man, I want to help my family. I want to help everybody. I want to help my wife get in shape. I want to help my kids get in shape. I want to help my parents get in shape. Man, this has been so helpful for me. And they see their own transformation, and then they want to share it with everybody. The truth is, you can't force somebody to get in shape if they don't want to do it for themselves. Like, all the stuff that I provide here, like, I put the information out there, and it's totally up to you what you do with it. Like, a lot of people follow it, but very few people actually act on it. And you can't force somebody to act on it. Like, I kid you not, I've had people follow my stuff for 10 plus years and are still overweight, out of shape, obese, and don't go to the gym. But they just like following my stuff, right? I'm like, Intellectually, you're a fitness expert, but physically, you are bare bones newbie, totally out of shape. Like, it doesn't make sense to me intellectually, but everybody's at their own stage of where they're at, right? Like, you can't force somebody who's not ready. And I've tried it. I've tried to help family and friends and everything else. Like, I've got, just like normal people, like most of the people in my family are overweight and out of shape. I got some who are downright obese. And I would love to help them. I would love to motivate them. I've done up diet and training plans for them. I've offered them to come over to my house and work out and everything else. And they're like, no, I'm too busy on this. I'll start later, and blah, 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 blah. And they never ever get around to doing it. So, like, you can't force somebody who's not ready. You can just, like, leave the door open, if you will. But when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But, this teacher can't force the student if the student's not ready. That's the bottom line. So, unfortunately, I mean, you're talking about the videos I did with my dad. I mean, he was ready back then, and then the gym shut down during COVID, and he got out of the routine and hasn't gotten back into it since. So, again, I'm leaving the door open for him, but he has to let me know when he's ready. I can't force him. Where else are we to? Dario saying, I found that my home workouts are often harder than those I used to do at the gym because I rely on my pull-up bar, suspension trainer, dumbbells, and bands as opposed to machines. Good stuff. I respect that. I mean, you can make a workout as hard as you want. Like, this idea of, home workouts are easy and gym workouts are hard, or vice versa, or like, no, it's how hard you decide to make it. Like, I could put you through a body weight only routine and have you, like, gasping for air and drenched in sweat and pumped and in pain. Like we could just do a circuit nonstop of push-ups and squats and pull-ups and just do that nonstop for like 20 minutes. And you will be, like, totally exhausted and spent and probably exert more effort than if you did like a 2-hour long, dilly-dallying around the gym doing the machine exercises, right? Like, you can make a training program as hard or as easy as you want. I mean, and I respect that. So, I mean, you're making the best of it, right? You're working out at home. You got limited equipment, but you're using that equipment to the max. Much respect there. Good stuff. To Be Fine is joining us. Henry is joining us from Detroit. Zach is saying, do you have any tips to stay lean all year long? Go back and watch the replay of this video. I did a whole 17-minute long rant on how to go about staying lean and how I'm going about it now. So if you haven't done so, when this is finished, go back and watch this whole replay. There's some solid nuggets of information there. Frederick's joining us. He says, Lee, what is an advanced push-pull legs program? Push-pull legs is a beginner. I guess push-pull legs is a beginner program. There's really no such thing as a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Now, let me elaborate. Generally speaking, if somebody is new to working out, you'll put them on a simple routine of simple exercises, maybe like a total body workout, one exercise for each major movement pattern, and just keep it simple. But that doesn't mean that an advanced person couldn't follow that same program and get results from it. Like I mentioned before, the workout is as hard as you make it. Like, you could take the most basic beginner workout, one exercise per movement pattern, for example, little total body workout 3 days a week. And if you push it, you rep out to failure and push it and give it 110%, like anybody, regardless if you're just starting out or if you're like Mr. Olympia caliber, you can make progress with that type of program because you're pushing your limits. It's not the exercises, it's not the program, it's how much effort you put into the program. That's what determines whether it's beginner, intermediate, or advanced, is how hard do you work it. Like, you could take the most advanced, complicated split routine, blah, 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 and if you just go through it half-as easy, then it's an easy workout. Like, it's not going to be as effective as taking the most simple workout and then going 100% and training hard with it. So, like, there's really no guidelines saying, oh, this is advanced and this is beginner and this is whatever. And, well, I'm too advanced for that program, so I can't do this. Like, I get that all the time. Like, people say, well, I started with total body, then I did upper lower body split, then I did push pull legs. Well, now what do I do? Right? I'm so advanced now, right? I've been working out for a year. What do I do now? Like, you could still go back to a total body workout and train hard and make gains for total body. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, most of my workouts now are 3 total body workouts a week. But I go in there, I train those exercises to muscular failure, and I'm still making progress with what would be considered a basic beginner's program. The reason why I do that is because it's efficient and I enjoy it. It allows me to get in and out of the gym quickly and efficiently, and then get back home and spend time with my family, right? I don't want to be in the gym 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? I'd like to be like efficient, like 1 hour in the gym, 3 days a week, boom, fast, furious, efficient, and get the results. Is collagen good for elbow tendinitis? Collagen is a supplement I've been using now for probably going on a couple of years, and knock on wood, I haven't had any major joint pains since I've been supplementing with collagen powder. I mean, go on Google, do your homework. Like, there's a lot of studies and research showing that collagen is good for joint and connective tissue and things like that. And I've been using it. What I usually do is I'll take a protein powder scoop, just your typical scoop that you get out of any protein powder. It's usually 20 plus grams per scoop, whatever it is. And I'll have a full scoop of collagen powder. I get the unflavored beef collagen powder. That's what I get. I get it at Costco. They got these big containers of beef collagen, unflavored. And I'll just take that and I'll either like mix it in with my oatmeal or mix it in with a blender smoothie or something like that. I mean, there's really no taste to it. So if you mix it in with a smoothie or mix it in with your oatmeal, like, you won't even know you're eating it. Like, you can hardly even taste it. Once it's all mixed in, it dissolves. You don't even know you're consuming it. So that's how I take it. And again, knock on wood, since I've been using collagen, I haven't had any joint pain. And so, I mean, keep doing it, right? If it works, keep doing it. And that's what I'm doing. What about honey for joint pain? Honey is just sugar. I really wouldn't take honey. Collagen, I mean, that's actual stuff that, joints, like, collagen, like, is actual the material that your body, like, I'll give you an example. Like, if you're eating chicken, I mean, like real chicken, like chicken wings, for example, that rubbery nuck on the end of the bones, right? Like, that's collagen, right? It's that rubbery jelly type stuff that's in between your joints. That's where collagen is. And so, I mean, that's actual stuff that's going to help to rebuild cartilage, tendon, ligament, that kind of stuff. Honey is not. Honey is sugar, right? Honey's not going to really help. I mean, I know there's a school of thought saying, well, honey's made by the bees and it's natural and blah, blah, blah. But I just look, honey is just a source of sugar. Even though it's natural and blah, 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 I don't consume any honey because it's just extra sugar that I don't need. Dario's joining in again and got a question saying, I started working out with good nutrition when I was 15. I've been doing so ever since. Now I'm 28. Good stuff. You must have seen some really good gains in those later teenage years, I would assume. I mean, that's when I made my best gains. In my late teenage years, like, the gains I made from then, like, there's no way I could duplicate that. Like, it was crazy. Let's see what else. Ron saying, thanks for answering my question. I'll do what you advise. Guys, please hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Frederick saying, what bad and medium nutrition? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you need more protein when you're cutting weights, and how much? The general rule of thumb when it comes to protein, if you're getting a gram of protein per pound of lean body weight per day, you're going to have your protein needs met. Now, if you want to bump it up, that's fine. Like, you can have higher protein, but you don't need to go extreme with it. And I've experimented in the past with extreme protein, like 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. I did that for a while. And honestly, it's just overkill. Like, your body can only utilize so much protein, and more than that, it's not helping. I think The max that I would ever recommend anybody to go with is probably like 1.5 grams of protein per pound of lean body weight per day. Like that would be the upper limit. Any more than that, you really don't need it. But again, between 1 gram and 1.5 grams per pound of lean body weight per day. Now that's the key word, lean body weight. Like if you're 300 pounds and obese, that doesn't mean you need 300 grams of protein, because if you got an extra 100 pounds of body fat, factor in your lean body weight. And again, if you know your body fat percentage, you can calculate it out, or you can just guesstimate it. If you want, you can even go a gram of protein for your ideal body weight. So like, again, if let's just say you're 300 pounds and you want to lose 100 pounds, then say, okay, my ideal body weight is 200, eat 200 grams of protein per day. Boom. That keep it simple. But you don't need to go overboard with protein. Like you see some guys like just boatloading protein in, and it's just it's excessive, and it's just not doing anything. Like I'd rather well-balanced diet. Like ideally, this is the way I like to structure my eating plans. 1/3 of your calories come from protein, 1/3 of your calories come from carbohydrates, and 1/3 come from good healthy fats. Now, you can manipulate it. Like if I'm working with coaching students, maybe we'll bump up the carbs a little bit, or we might tailor them down a little bit depending on, someone's goals and how their body's responding. But that's a good general guideline. Like if you do that, 1/3 protein, 1/3 carbs, 1/3 fat, and then you eat the ideal calorie intake for your goal, you'll make some good gains. And I find that when you keep that well-balanced approach, your body functions well. It feels good. You don't go through the mood swings and the ups and downs and all this crazy crap that you go through. Like you see people going on these low carb diets, and then the mental fog, and then they feel hungry and irritable and all this kind of stuff. Like when you have a well-balanced diet, you don't go through that stuff. Your body is like, it's as simple as it is, well-balanced works. Your body works when you just don't mess with it too much. Like well-balanced, keep it simple, right? Keeping it simple works. Where else are we to? Mike has got a question. It says, it's been 6 months of doing squats. I train bro split. Tried to do progressive overload, but my squat strength is hardly improving. I'm 42, 185. I squat 190 for 4 reps, 170 for 6 to 8 reps. Is it better to use plates under my feet for squats, or is it better to do it flat? Will the plates take away from glute and hamstring development? All right. 6 months, and you're squatting 190 for 4 reps, which is a little more than your body. Like, again, Mike, I don't know where you're starting from, but that may be actually pretty darn good. Like, where were you 6 months ago? Like, if 6 months ago you were squatting 100 pounds for reps, and now you're squatting 190 pounds for reps, like that's really good progress. So I don't really have a context in mind to say if you're doing good or bad, but the fact that you're doing it is good, right? Like a lot of people, that's one of the things I hear a lot too, is like, oh, I've been doing this for a few months, and they think they're doing something wrong, or they think their progress is bad because of the level they're at. I'm like, you're probably comparing yourself. Okay, you've been doing this for 6 months. You might be looking at the progress of someone who's been doing it for 6 years, or maybe 16 years, or 26 years. Like, it's all relative. Like, imagine a musician who just started playing the guitar. Let's say I started playing the guitar 6 months ago, but my guitar instructor has been playing for 30 years. And I'm like, how come I can't play as good as you, right? I've been doing it every day for 6 months. And he says, yeah, but I've been doing it every day for 30 years. Like, it's all in perspective. So like you're saying you've been training for 6 months and you think you're not improving. Maybe you are improving. It's just you're not giving yourself credit, because like you're probably comparing yourself to people who've been doing it a lot longer. And I'm going to tell you, like, most of the people that you look up to on social media or on the internet or bodybuilding.com or in the magazines or wherever you're looking up to people, even the young guys, even the young 20-something-year-olds have been working out for at least 10 years to get to the level that they're at, right? Like you see some guy who's 25 and shredded and jacked, chances are he probably started working out when he was 15, right? It took him about 10 years to get to that level, right? If you're seeing someone who's ripped after 40, he might have been working out for 20 plus years, like most of them. I mean, of course, there's going to be exceptions. Maybe you get somebody who started later in life and whatever. But most of the people that you're looking up to, fitness influencers, people who have YouTube channels, people on Instagram, you know, with their ab shots and blah, 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 I'm going to guarantee you the low end of the scale is going to be 10 years. And I'd say most of them probably have been training longer than 10 years. Like, that's the timeline you need to look at. Don't be looking in the matter of like, oh, I've been doing this for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. Look longer. Now, I know that's sometimes hard to wrap your head around when you're just getting started, but realize like life is going to go by anyway. The time is going to pass regardless of what you do. Like, if you work out, time is going to pass. If you don't work out, time is going to pass. Like, in 10 years time, you're going to be 10 years older, assuming you're still alive and well. Where do you want to be? Like, you can be so happy because, hey, I took that 10 years and invested it by looking after my health and fitness. And now 10 years later, I'm lean and healthy and in shape and feeling good. Or you can eat like crap, be lazy and binge watch Netflix and whatever. And then in 10 years time, you're overweight and out of shape and feeling like crap. Like, the time is going by regardless. It's what do you do in that time? It's like, you know, if you're looking at investing, like you could start investing from a young age. Like, let's just say you started investing from the day you had your first job, your first paycheck. You said, you know what, a percentage of that paycheck is going into investments. And then you let that compound over the course of your lifetime. You know, by the time you retire, you're a millionaire because you know, you've got this, you know, this nice portfolio of investments. Or you could say, screw it, I'm just going to spend every cent that I earn and rack up credit card debt and blah, blah, blah. At the end of your life, when you retire, like, the person who saved and invested, like, boom, they're laughing, right? You know, they're a millionaire because they're investments and they can enjoy a healthy retirement. Or you have someone else who blew all their money growing up and now they're retiring and they're broke, right? Like, the time is going by regardless. It's what do you do with the time in between? That's what's going to make the difference. So you've been doing it for 6 months. Good job. Thumbs up. Keep going. Keep going. Like, slow, steady progress. Just let that compound over time. As far as plates under your heels, it's personal preference. Whether you have plates under your heels really depends on your ankle flexibility. You could look into proper squat shoes, which have elevated heels, which is basically the same as using plates under your heels. Like, I personally find that I can squat flat foot in flat shoes. I've got good ankle flexibility. It's not a big deal for me. Other people like to elevate their heels or wear squat shoes with elevated heels. Try both and see what works best for you. It's not right or wrong. It's personal preference, right? You see some power lifters and Olympic lifters, you know, who squat flat foot. You see some guys who squat elevated heels. It's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What works the best for you? It's not right or wrong. Try both. We have Hopeless Wanderer saying, you look fantastic. You leaned out, looking 30 years old. Thank you. Much appreciated. Frederick saying, Lee, can you bench 225 for 4 sets of 12 reps? Right now, probably not. No, I probably not. 225 would be, I could probably, you know, bang out a set of 12. Could I get 4 sets of 12? I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't tried it in a while. Again, I'll be like, I'm not trying to hype or BS, but like, I'm not training heavy anymore. Like, I find when I try and push myself with heavy, low reps, like, I get aches and pains and it opens up the door for injury. Like, for me, a heavy set now is 10 reps. Like, I will work up to a heavy set of 10. Whereas in the past, I used to do like 5x5s and like even back when I was powerlifting, like triples, doubles, even singles. Like, that stuff is a thing of the past. My rep range now is like 10, 15, or 20 reps. Like, I usually like 20 reps as a warm up, and then I'll probably like work up to 15, and then like heavy set is 10. And I use lighter weights, higher reps, more time under tension. And I'm not trying to just push out heavy weight, low reps anymore. Now, my goals are changed because I know at the stage I'm at, I'm not going to build new muscle, right? I'm 42 years old. I've been doing this for 30 years. Like, I'm at my genetic limit. Like, I'm not going to be a 250-pound shredded bodybuilder. I've come to realization. That's not me, right? I'm going to be just happy where I'm to and try and be as lean and healthy and as athletic and mobile as I can be. And I know if I push myself trying to lift like 1 rep max and all this kind of shit, it's just going to be, shoulders are going to be hurting, elbows are going to be hurting, and it's not worth it. It really isn't, right? I would like to avoid injuries and, you know, muscle tears and all that stuff and just the unnecessary aches and pains. Like, I have Zero ego when I go into the gym. Like, I don't care if there's, Monday's International Chest Day and I'm going in and there's, a couple of young guys on the bench, with 3 plates aside. I'm like, hey, go have at it if you want it. I'm not going to try and keep up. I really couldn't give a shit. I have zero ego as far as what I'm doing in the gym anymore. So like everyone's asking me like, how much can you lift? Like, I don't push myself for weight anymore. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you what my 1 rep max is or because I don't train that way anymore. Chewy is saying, hello, Chewy here. I had a surgery, a hernia surgery. I'm not allowed to lift anymore for 6 weeks. What's the best thing to do to keep my gains? That's rough. I feel for you. You had the surgery. The good thing about this is obviously now that you had the surgery, that's going to correct the hernia, because what they do is they put this like mesh patch in to fill, the hole where the intestines were popping out through. So you have this mesh patch to hold and basically you should be fine. Like once that heals up, you should be fine. You should not have any more issues with that hernia. I actually wrote a blog post about this. If you want to just Google search like Lee Hayward workout hernia, something like that. Lee Hayward workout hernia. You should be able to find it, or just go to my website and type in hernia in the search bar. You should find it. But I wrote a blog post about this a while back. Anyway, during this time, like take it easy. Like if you can walk and just do simple activity like that, just for general activity and mobility, like do that to keep yourself active, but don't go straining and lifting and doing anything that your doctor doesn't recommend. Like follow your doctor's orders in terms of like what you can and can't do at this stage of the game, and realize it's 6 weeks. Like 6 weeks is nothing in the greater scheme of things. Like, yes, you're going to lose some strength. Yes, you're going to lose some fullness over the course of the 6 weeks. And yes, you're not going to, if you're used to working out and everything else, you're going to probably be like pissed off because you can't work out. But what you can do is you can eat clean, right? Focus on good quality nutrition. Focus on low intensity exercise like walking. I mean, walking should be okay. Again, double check with your doctor, but you should be able to walk, because that's not going to create, a lot of unnecessary internal pressure that should push, have any impact on your hernia. But again, follow your doctor's orders. Just keep yourself active with easy walking and clean eating. And then when you can resume working out again, realize that you are going to regain that lost muscle and strength so much faster the second time around. It's easier to regain muscle than it is to gain it initially. It's known as muscle memory, and it is a legitimate thing, right? You hear it all the time, but it's actually legit. You will make gains faster the second time around than it took you to gain it in the first place. So like let's just theoretically say, okay, it's taken you 5 years to build up to your current level of strength, and you take 6 weeks off. Like I'm telling you, like within 6 weeks of training again, you could literally be back up to where you are. So like in 12 weeks from now, you could be back to where you are and then making gains from there on. So like you can regain muscle a lot faster. It's not like you're going to take 6 weeks off and then you have to start over like a beginner all over again. And, it's going to take you years to build it up. No, I mean, if you take 6 weeks off, it'll probably take 6 weeks to regain it, and then you can progress from there. So it's like a little bump in the road. It's not that big a deal. Philly's saying, thanks for answering my question. Have a good weekend. You too, my friend. I'm going to get ready and clue it up soon. Actually, I've been going for over an hour. William is joining in. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And what was your dream job as a young lad? Interesting question. In 10 years' time, I want to be doing more of what I'm doing now. I love this. I want to build my coaching business bigger, my fitness coaching business that I'm doing. And I'm in the process of expanding that and actually, hiring on more people to help me with building that. But ultimately, I want to keep doing what I'm doing because this is a true passion of mine. I love it. My dream job when I was a young lad, I wanted to be my own boss. That was one of the things. I did not want to have a traditional 9-to-5 job. And honestly, I've never had a traditional 9-to-5 job. Never. I've had jobs, but they weren't the traditional 9-to-5ers. Like my first official job, if you will, was working as a personal trainer in the gym, but that was kind of like, contract work, taking on clients and stuff like that. So I kind of, in a way, set my own schedule there. I also had a job as a door-to-door salesman selling alarm systems. I did that for a while. But those were the only two jobs that I had. I was a personal trainer and I was a salesman. And now I'm just fitness coaching. That's what I'm doing. Now, aside from fitness coaching, I own and manage several rental properties. So I've, over the years, I've invested my money into real estate, and now I have, several rental properties that I own and manage as well. That's what I do in the real world off the internet. But I want to just keep doing that. I mean, I enjoy what I'm doing. I really do. I love what I'm doing. I love working with my coaching students. I've got some good relationships with them, and I love seeing people succeed. So I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing for as long as I can. And it helps motivate me to stay in shape and be healthy, because I want to lead by example, right? I mean, by helping other people get in shape, then I want to say, well, I got to be in shape too, right? To keep up with you guys. And it just helps it's just like an upward spiral. So yeah, thanks for asking that. Mad Devils is saying, is it worth training the abductor, adductor in isolation? Yes, you can do that. I do include the inner outer thigh machine, adductor, abductor, to isolate the inner and outer thighs. Yeah. You don't need to train it heavy or anything like that, but I do it as a supplemental exercise to my leg training, because most of the leg exercises we're doing, it's just quads and hamstrings, right? Like there's very little for the hips, very little for the inner and outer thighs. And they can be the weak link for a lot of people, especially if you're involved with sports or athletics or things like that, because you're not only moving front to back, right? You're not only flexing the quads and flexing the hamstrings. You could be moving side to side. And if you don't have strong hips and strong inner thigh muscles and have the good flexibility and mobility there, that could be the weak link in the chain, and that could help, or that could cause you to get injured. So you want to work all the different areas, right? So I do include isolation work for the abductor and adductor. Any tips for overcoming procrastination regarding working and studying? Okay, working and studying. Could include working out there, but the same principles apply regardless of what it is that you are procrastinating on. You need, this would be a good one to clue up the chat with. I know we still got a lot of questions there, and there's no way I'm going to get to them all, but I'm just going to answer this one because this could apply to everybody. So I'm going to procrastinate and have a sip of water before I answer the question about procrastination. Procrastination. Let's not procrastinate on this one. The reason why you are procrastinating on whatever it is that you're struggling with, be it your workouts, be it studying, be it starting that business, be it housework, chores, whatever it is that you are procrastinating on. The reason you're procrastinating on it is because you're making the task too big in your mind. You're over embellishing and overthinking it. Like, let's look at working out, for example. If you make the task of working out too big, you're just going to like, I haven't got time to do this. I don't want to do this. And like, oh my God, well, working out. Well, first thing that I got to do, I got to get my gym bag packed. I got to pack up my gym bag. I got to get a change of clothes for after the workout. And I got to make up, I got to get myself a bottle of water before I go to the gym, make sure I got that packed. I got to get my gym sneakers. Where are they to again? My gym sneakers. Okay, I got to dig them out of the closet and get this thing. Then I got to get in the car and I got to drive all the way to the gym. And you know what? It's rush hour traffic right now. So I'm going to be going through rush hour and all those bloody stoplights. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get to the gym. And then once I get to the gym, then I got to sign in at the door. And now it's COVID and I got to wear that stupid mask on my face and blah, blah, blah. And then I got to go sign in on the cardio machines. And you know what? It's probably going to be busy there. And then I'm going to be waiting on machines. And then after I do that, then I got to get a shower afterwards and get cleaned up. And you know what? I don't want to get a shower at the gym because it's COVID and everything else. And I got to wear that stupid mask on my face. And then I'm going to have to come home and get a shower and get cleaned up. And I don't have time to go to the gym. It's too much. It's too big. It's too much. I don't have time to go to the gym. Right? That's why people procrastinate. It's because you make it too big. You're overthinking it and you're making it too big. You just need to keep it simple. And it's a simple thing when it comes to the workouts and stuff like that. Make them small. Give yourself permission to do small, easy workouts. Like if you're not working out at all right now, like you don't even need to go to the gym if you don't want to. Like start with set of push-ups, set of body weight squats. Just do that, alternate it back and forth for like 5 minutes. I kid you not. If you haven't worked out for like weeks and you're just starting off, if you do a set of push-ups and then you just say rest a minute, do a set of body weight squats, rest a minute, set of push-ups, rest, squats, and you just do that for like 5 or 10 minutes, you will, like at the end of that 5 or 10 minutes, your pecs are going to be pumped. You're going to be, you're going to feel it. Your legs are going to be pumped. Like you'll be amazed. Just those 2 exercises alternated back and forth for 10 minutes, and you will feel a workout. You'll probably even be sore the next day. Like it doesn't have to be this big, long, daunting task that people make it out to be in their mind. Like I elaborated on that example before of this whole going to the gym, but that's literally the way a lot of people think of it, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. They're making the task too big in their mind, and that's why they're procrastinating. Make it small. Make it so stupid small that you can't say no. Like literally so small. Like even if you're really procrastinating, don't even have it as big as what I said, like squats and push-ups for 10 minutes. Start off 1 set of push-ups. That's your workout. Start with that, right? Do that every day for the next week. Just 1 set of push-ups. Hit the floor, do as many push-ups as you can, and stop. That's your workout. Check. And guess what? Just the momentum of doing that will build up. Because once you get into the habit of just starting, like the hardest part of all this stuff is starting. The hardest part of going to the gym is actually walking through the gym door. Like once you're there, then it's like coasting downhill. The hardest part is getting started. Like the hardest part of studying is sitting down and opening the book. Like once you're there and you have the book open and you start studying, it's easy. It's like coasting downhill. And like this works both ways. Like just think of when you're watching Netflix. Like once your ass is in the couch, once the remote is in your hand and you push play, that's it. It's game over. You're there. You like the way Netflix and everything is now, like you don't even need to advance to the next episode because it'll just automatically play the next one, right? Like once the hardest part is just starting, but once you start, then boom, it's just like coasting downhill from there, right? It's just automatic. So you need to take that same automatic and apply it to something that's good, right? Instead of binge watching Netflix, you need to apply it to something more productive. So the hardest part is getting started. So you need to make getting started as small and as easy and as frictionless as possible. And there's a lot of strategies you can use for this. I mean, one that I mentioned before is make it small. Make it so small that you can't say no, right? Like instead of thinking, oh, I got to do an hour of cardio, think, no, I got to get outside and walk for 5 minutes. That's it. Give yourself permission. Walk 5 minutes. Start small and then let it build up. Because what you find is if you get into the habit of starting, the rest gets easier. And this is how I got back in shape, right? Back when I was, in my late 30s, son was born, and I let myself go, got the quote-unquote dad bod, right? This how I did it. As I gave myself permission to do little mini workouts because I was so tired and so exhausted. I said, I don't have 2 hours to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I got 10 minutes. I can go for a 10-minute walk, or I can do a little 10-minute body weight circuit at home, or I can just, take my rubber resistance bands and do 10 minutes of exercise. I gave myself permission to do little 10-minute workouts. And guess what? Once I started, sometimes I just did a 10-minute workout. Like sometimes I said, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, and I would just literally go out and go for a 10-minute walk. Set my watch, and I'd walk up the street for 5 minutes, turn around, walk back. That was walk done. But what I found was happening more and more, the more often I did it, is I would start with that goal in mind. Hey, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. But then I get out there and I say, man, I really enjoy this. The fresh air feels good. And I could go for 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes or even longer. Like, again, the hardest part is getting started. Same with the workouts. Like I would commit saying, you know what, I'm just going to do a little quick body weight circuit, 10 minutes max. Once I got going, got the heart rate pumping and the endorphins flowing and everything else, next thing you know, hey, I might go for a half an hour. Because I actually feel good. Like once you get the momentum started, it's easy to keep it going. So that's what you need to do. You need to focus on getting started and making a habit of starting it. And an easy way to do this, and this is something I actually learned from this book here. If you haven't read this book, get it. Atomic Habits by James Clear. You can get it on Audible. You can get the hard copy book. I've got both, right? I like to do both. Like if you really want to learn something, you get the Audible version, and then you get the the hard copy version as well, and you go through it with a yellow highlighter and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how you learn, right? You absorb it twice as much because you get it audible as well as the visual, and it's just so much better. But read that book, because that's what he focuses on. He actually uses a lot of diet and exercise examples in there, along with work and productivity examples. But another habit that he mentioned here, habit stacking. And if you look at your day, there's things that you do throughout the day that are ingrained in your routine right now. They're habits that you have in place, like right now. Like, you go to work, you come home, you have your meals, like you go to bed at a certain time, you brush your teeth, you do your chores, your tasks, you go check the mail, like you get your groceries. Like, everybody has habits and routines in their schedule right now. And what you can do is you can piggyback some of the stuff that you want to do on some of the stuff that you're already doing consistently and that are not a trouble for you. So, prime example is, okay, every day you're going to work, every day you're coming home from work. How about along that journey, we stack in a workout? So, for example, is on your way home from work every day, before we come home, let's stop into the gym for 30 minutes, right? So you're already in the car, you're already driving home from work. Well, instead of just driving straight home, drive to the gym, do a little 30-minute workout, then come home. Like, just stack a habit on top of what you're already doing. Like, you're already non-negotiably driving back and forth to work as it is, assuming you're actually going to work and you're not working from home. But you get what I'm saying here. Like, there's things in your routine right now that you're doing on a regular basis. If you can stack stuff on top of that. And this is a great way to make things a routine and help prevent the procrastination. Because if you try and find time to work out, you'll never find it. You have to make time to work out, right? You have to make time to study or make time to do stuff that you want to do. You can't just hopefully, you're going to look under the bed. No, there's some extra time. No, you can't find it. You have to make it, right? And this is one way that you can make it, is by stacking habits on top of things that you're already doing. Another one that's really good, a lot of people do, first thing in the morning, right? Like, set that, like, as soon as your alarm goes off in the morning, like if you want to set a habit to work out, get yourself your coffee, change into your gym clothes, and go work out. Like, boom, boom, boom. Keep it as simple and try to, like, get that done first thing in the morning. Like, you're waking up in the morning anyway, stack a workout right in there first thing. Even if it's like a 10, 15-minute workout or something like that, boom, get that done first thing. It's out of the way. It's crossed off the list before you get busy with the rest of your day. Even if you want to study or you want to read more, or you want to practice the guitar more, or whatever, like, make it as easy and effortless as possible to do those things, right? You want to read more first thing in the morning. Hey, set aside 10 minutes to read some book, right? You want to study more, set aside 10 minutes first thing in the morning to study, right? Whatever it is. You want to practice guitar more, set aside time, to set it into your schedule, like, plan it out there, and that will help. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, guys. I'm not sponsored or anything by this, but I would recommend, like, if there's a must-read book, this will probably be the one that I would recommend. I've gained so much from this, and I've used it in my own life, and I use it to help my coaching students as well. Like, James Clear's, I've never met the guy in person, but, like, I've listened to a lot of his audiobook, of course, watched a lot of his videos, listened to podcasts. Like, the guy knows his shit, and he's just a genuine, humble guy who knows his shit. And I recommend his book. There. All right. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go have my dinner now, because my wife has got dinner on the table for us. And I hope you enjoyed the video chat. I enjoyed doing it. And if you did like it, give me a thumbs up. Much appreciated. The replay of this will be posted up. But what I do now with all my live video chats is they're in a private playlist over on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. So you won't see it on the main YouTube channel. Go in there and you'll see all the replays of this video chat, and all the previous ones are in the playlist. That'll be right there in the playlist tab on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. So if you want to check this replay or any of the others, go there. Have yourself a great one. And if you need any help with your workouts or your nutrition, or you would like to reach out to me personally, like maybe I didn't answer your question here today, or you would like to elaborate on some of the questions that were discussed, send me an email. I would be more than happy to chat with you. LeeH@LeeHayward.com. LeeH, L-E-E, the letter H, at LeeHayward.com. And I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you if you want to ask me some questions or whatever, or even if you want to have a strategy session, right? Because that's something we can do. We can actually hop on the phone, have a strategy session, and discuss some action plans that are right for you. And if you want some help with it, let me know. All right, guys, have yourself a good one. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Take care. Over and out.